Guys, what is going on? We are back with week 8 of the Power Rankings on Australian Survivor Season 2, and what a week we just had. Henry, everyone loved him or hated him, but he is gone. He was one of my favourite players this season. I really enjoyed watching him, but that was one of the best episodes of Survivor ever. It just edited so well. It was just brilliant. I absolutely loved it. So well done to the crew for putting that together. Sad to see Henry leave because of it, but what a great episode of Survivor. So firstly, before we do begin today, couple of quick things. First of all, the reunion. There is a live reunion this season. It's being filmed on the 6th of October in Sydney. Unfortunately, I don't think there's going to be tickets available to the public. In fact, only a few of the Season 1 contestants are invited as well. It sucks a little bit. I kind of understand they're trying to do it a little bit smaller, kind of similar to how the US season does it. A little bit more limited though. It sucks. It really sucks that the fans can't get there. It really sucks that all Season 1 contestants aren't going to be there either. But I still have really high hopes that it's going to be a fantastic finale. We've got an amazing cast still left, so whoever's there I think are going to really have earned it. We'll see what happens. But that's just a little bit of an update on what's going to happen there. I fortunately will be there. I'm going to film a little bit of stuff if I can to get you guys hopefully a little bit of behind the scenes stuff on what that weekend entails. I've got an Airbnb with a few contestants and I think it's going to be a bit of fun. So I'll hopefully be able to do a little bit of live streaming and stuff for that as well. I'm sure you guys will hopefully enjoy that. And just another quick thing as well, I've been speaking to 10 in the last couple of weeks, and it sounds like we're going to be able to set up some cool interviews with some of the merge contestants, the guys that have made the jury, one-on-one, via some phone, but we'll do a little bit of video stuff as well, so that should hopefully come within the next week or so. I'd love to chat to the guys that didn't make the merge as well. What I really want to do here is get their story without the edit. So to hear how their games were, what they did right, what they did wrong, what we didn't see on the TV show itself. They all deserve a chance to get out there, so hopefully we get a chance to do that with all of the guys, but that should come within the next week as well, so look forward to that. Make sure you subscribe to see when those come up as well. So, Power Rankings for this week. There's been a lot of movement, because I think out of my top 5 from last week, I think 3 of them have now gone, which just goes to show anything can happen in Survivor, and at the end of the day, we have no idea what's going on out there. We could be completely right, completely wrong sometimes, and it's definitely happened a lot this season. So we're now left with just the final 9, some really great characters, some really great game players left. I think the next couple of weeks are going to be huge. Let's get straight into it. In the players who I think still have a chance of winning this game, and the players who I don't think have a chance at all of winning this game. Let's start at the bottom. So, someone who has been at the bottom for most of the season, I think she is still there at the bottom for me. Let me explain it. At number 9, I have Tara. Now, first of all, I don't think Tara's going next. In fact, I have a bit of a theory. I think Tara is actually going to finish Final 2. Maybe Final 3, but I get the feeling possibly she's a good chance of making it to the Final 2. Let me explain why. Pre-merge, we saw Tara kind of in a bit of a negative light. A lot of her Reddit kind of revolved around AK, a little bit kind of bitter, angry. Not the Tara we've seen post-merge. You see, post-merge, we've started to see a little bit more about her life back home, a bit more of a sensitive, emotional side of Tara, which is kind of bringing in a lot of fans to Tara, I think. I still don't think it's won everyone over, but I think maybe kind of the casual fans are starting to like Tara maybe just a little bit more. Why would the editors be doing this? You see, I think they're doing it because she's going to make the Final 2, and whoever she's up against, there's some really strong players left. I think it's going to be quite obvious for most of us that that person's probably going to win. I think they need something which builds up Tara as a character, so some people at least don't really know 100% who's going to win or not. So they have some sort of story there. I get the feeling Tara's going to be Final 2. I'm going to tell you in a second who I think she's going to be up against. I think they're trying to build up a character and a story arc for her, so it makes sense as to why she's there. I just think, though, if you compare her with everyone else left in this cast, I just can't see her winning up against anyone. As it stands right now. If she starts making her own moves and actually making them, maybe it happens. But so far, in the past 40 or something days, we haven't seen that from Tara at all. I don't think it's going to start happening now. Following on from Tara, someone who possibly is in an even worse position than Tara, but again, last week she was so high. Ziggy. Wow. What a fall from grace we've seen from Ziggy the last week. She was in such a strong position. She had this incredible super idol which had such a power, and then she goes and uses it for no real reason. Like, it just didn't need to be used when she used it. Annalise, great character, great player, but not enough of a threat to use that. It didn't make a lot of sense for me. I didn't get it. She gained so much distrust from people with how she's played the last couple of days. It does not look good for her whatsoever. I think she's going to be targeted really soon. She could be the next one to go. I don't know if she's a big enough target for the guys to try to get out of straight away, but I just can't see her game getting any better, unfortunately. I was a little bit disappointed, to be honest, because pre-game, I wasn't sure what to expect from Ziggy, but throughout this season, I've really liked her. She's played a pretty good game, I think, but it just, the last week or so, it's broken down a little bit. I'm not sure if she's starting to struggle maybe a little bit with how it gets out there, because it does get really tough right about now. Maybe that's it. A little bit disappointed. I think she's one of the next to go. Then in at number 7, someone again whose luck has just changed so much so since Henry's left especially, Locky. I mean, Locky, his best bud in Henry, but not just best bud, probably, I guess, the strategic mind in that kind of alliance and that friendship group they had there. I just can't see Locky's game going too much further. He's such a strong physical target, which is the only thing that might save him. I mean, I've said this before, I think Locky is one of the best challenge guys in Survivor. Like, it's definitely Australian Survivor, but possibly even a US Survivor as well. He's just an absolute physical beast out there. He needs to win challenges. If he can win challenges and go on some kind of crazy immunity idol streak, maybe his game saves. That's what he's needing to do, though. If he doesn't do that, he's just too powerful. He's too strong. And people know that out there. I can't see him lasting too much longer. He's probably one of the next 2 or 3 to go. I'd almost guarantee it. Following on from Locky, we have someone who's kind of changed a little bit the last couple episodes. He was somewhere near the bottom. Now he's kind of somewhere towards the middle. Peter. Peter's changed his game a little bit. I mean, I quite like Peter. Socially, he's quite good. I think out there people like Peter. He has a little bit of a strategic mindset. He's definitely improved his placement in the tribe. I just don't know. I don't know if he's strategic enough to get too much further in the game, but I also don't think he's a huge threat out there either. So he could be one of these guys they keep for a little bit longer just because, I mean, there's no real reason not to. I don't think he's the sort of guy that's going to be able to make too many big, strong moves, which might work out well for him. Yeah, I don't know. He's the sort of guy that could last a little bit longer. He could also be kind of one of these guys that goes next, but doesn't really go in a huge fashion. He's just kind of, he's there one day, the next day, he's not there anymore. It's probably not going to be a huge blindside. It's probably just going to happen. Then we are left with the top 5. Now, these guys are the only guys that I see with a chance of winning this game. The first 2, though, not a huge chance, but there's still just a smidge of a chance of winning this game. And the first one, it's Luke. Luke has just clearly been one of the best characters in Survivor history. When Luke won at the Survivor auction that prize, you would not have wanted it to be anyone else. I mean, I'm sure the producers were just so stoked that he was the one that won it. It was hilarious. I loved it. He just played it so well, so funnily. His phone call was really touching. For him to chat to his wife back home, Maree, who I know really struggled with him being away, and his boys. I mean, it was really touching. I definitely got really teary in that moment. It was really nice to see. Luke is such a good dude, such a great player, but he's also such a target. Out there right now, all those guys, they're gunning for that big fish to fry. I get the feeling Luke might be that fish. It actually kind of almost looks to me like maybe someone like Jericho turns on Luke finally, breaks that bromance, Luke might go. That's kind of what I see maybe happening next. I hope it doesn't happen because he has been such a great player of this game. But I think there's one thing for certain about Luke. Even if he goes soon, if there's ever an All-Star season, he is one of the first names on that list. Guaranteed. I love him. I hope he doesn't go soon. I just think he's going to. Then in at 4, we had Michelle. Now, Michelle was one of these people that I think if I was out there with Michelle, I don't know how much I'd love her, I'll be honest. But for someone who's playing a game that I don't necessarily love or have a huge connection to, she's playing it quite well. She's gone from this person we didn't really see a lot from, for someone who's actually quite smart, quite strategic. I mean, I think she's a bit of fun as well. Clearly, when it came to her joining Tessa with her award the other day, she wasn't really there for strategy. She just really wanted strawberries and champagne, which is just... I like her. Michelle is exactly who Michelle is. And that's the thing I love about Michelle. I don't think there's a huge filter. I don't think we're seeing, anything different to what Michelle probably is in the real world. I like that. I think she's actually a lot smarter than I probably gave her credit for at the start of the season as well. I can't see her going anytime soon. I just can't see her winning really either. But she's shown enough strategy that it kind of gives me a little bit of a sense that she could win it though. She has kind of enough... I think the one thing about Michelle that I like more than some of the others is that she's strategic, she's smart, she's social enough that I think if she was to go far, she has something there that she could use in her final jury speech. And that's kind of why I have her where I have her. Don't think she's going to go home soon. Don't think she's going to win though, really. But maybe. Just a little tiny bit. And then in number 3, we have someone who's been at my top almost for the whole season. I still don't know really where she sits, and that is Sarah. Now, I've seen online, everyone loved Sarah the other week at the auction where she faked being angry and then she was kind of going off and trying to get people to target certain people. First of all, I don't think her reaction at the auction itself was put on. I think that was just how she was feeling at the time. She's a great actor and she acted really well back at camp. I just don't know if I buy that was acting straight away. I think she was just pissed off, which I can't understand why she would have been. She just bought a coconut, but I kind of didn't really buy that, I'll be honest. But maybe. She could just be the world's greatest actor. She could be the next Survivor Neighbours contestant. I don't know. Her and Sammy, I don't know. See what happens there. Maybe some sort of on-show Survivor Neighbours romance could kick up. I don't know. But I really like Sarah. I think Sarah's played a really good game. I would actually still really like to see Sarah win it. I'm not sure if she's going to, but I think she's a chance. I think the good thing about Sarah is that she's kind of still surrounded herself, or at least she's surrounded by really big targets. Now, she's a big target herself, but I think guys like Locky and Luke might be targeted before her. Even Ziggy. I just don't think Sarah is the biggest target out there right now. But I think she also has a big enough rap sheet that if she does make it to the end, she beats almost everyone out there, I think. And she's also got, a lot of people in the jury who are her friend. I like Sarah's chances. I don't love Sarah's chances. I don't think she's going to go home in the next couple. I think she probably still definitely makes top 5. Where she goes from there, we'll just have to wait and see. Then we have the top 2. Now, the first is Tessa. Now, I've loved Tessa all season. She has been my winner's pick from day dot. I actually don't think she's going to win, but I think she might. I actually think Tessa's probably going to be top 3, is kind of how I see it. I think Tessa is quite strong at challenges, something that I didn't really expect, but she's quite physical in these endurance challenges especially. I think she's going to be really good in the last couple of weeks. I also just think Tessa has been the player this season who's been able to get herself out of trouble. So even if she gets in trouble in the next couple of episodes where she's on the bottom again, she's one of the people out there that I think can take herself from the bottom to the top quite quickly. She's done it before. If it happens, I can see her doing it again. She's not a huge threat out there. She's not a huge target. Even though she probably is, people don't see her as one. I think Tessa's a really good chance of making top 4, top 3 this game. This is how I see it playing out. I think Tessa is going to make top 3, but then she's voted off because she doesn't win the challenge. And the person who's alongside Tessa and Tara just sees Tessa as much of a bigger threat to win, so they vote her off. That's kind of how I see it happening. I don't know if that is just a crazy Survivor dream I've had, but that's what I think might possibly happen in this game. But we'll see. And finally, my number 1 player, the person who I think is going to win this game. Let me tell you why, because I think Jericho is going to be our sole survivor. So, why Jericho? Well, first of all, everyone seems to love him. He also has aligned himself with really strong guys like Luke that quite clearly are a much bigger threat than Jericho is himself. But Jericho is really well spoken. I think Jericho's story is quite good. I think people will vote for him because he's a great person, because of his story back home, but also his rap sheet in this game is big. I mean, he has played a really strong game. Why have him above guys like Luke and stuff who are probably a similar sort of size target? I just think out there people aren't realizing how much of a threat and a target Jericho is and should be. So I just see him going further and further and further. He's willing to make moves. He makes moves that he says he's going to make as well. That is why I think Jericho is going to make Final 3. That is why I think Jericho is going to win this game. I think he's smart enough to bring someone like Tara alongside him as well, who I think he definitely beats. That is just what I think is going to happen. I think Jericho will be a great winner if that is the case. But in saying that, to be honest, the 9 guys we have left, I feel like they all have at least a case of why they could win this game. I could see any of them winning. I just think there's a few more that have a bigger chance than some of these others at the bottom. So guys, if you think I'm right or wrong about anything, please let me know below. Comment, subscribe, like, share, all that kind of stuff. Please help me to get these videos out there. And I really just want to know what you guys think. As I said, next week I'll be doing some interviews with some of these players. I'll be posting some question threads for you guys as well, because I want your questions as well. A lot of interaction, all that kind of stuff. So let's just have fun with it. But guys, Survivor, we're coming to the end of this season. It's been an absolutely epic season, and I just get the feeling the ending is going to be even better. So stay tuned, and I'll see you guys next week.